Videos to help you complete the Create a Neon Glow effect in Photoshop project. Once you've downloaded the start file, brick underscore wall underscore start dot psd, you're going to go ahead and open that file in Photoshop. And the first thing I want you to do is to follow the instructions and save and rename this project. So you're going to go to File, Save As, and once the pop-up opens, you're going to change the folder from Downloads to Documents. We're going to go to the folder you created with your name, and you're going to save your file there. You have to rename it to neon underscore glow underscore your first and last initial. So mine is neon underscore glow underscore NJ. You don't have to add the .psd because it already is saved as a Photoshop document file type down here. So we're going to just do save. Okay, and you can say don't show again if it pops up. We're going to say okay and keep moving on in instructions. It's important that you have the instructions open while doing this project so that you can see all the different settings that are required for this particular project. All right, next they want us to create a new layer, and the easiest way to do that is to click the plus sign icon at the bottom of the layers panel. It's next to delete item, where you delete items. You're going to click that plus sign in a square to add a new layer. Once this layer is created, they want us to fill it with the color black and change settings like the opacity and the screen blending mode, which can both be found in the layers panel. But the easiest way I find to fill an item is to go to Edit, Fill. So I'm clicking on the Edit menu, and I'm going to go down to Fill, and there will be a pop-up box. You can choose the color black from the drop-down, so you don't have to go type in any numbers. The blending mode they want us to choose is Vivid Light, so we're going to click that drop-down and choose Vivid Light. And the opacity, remember the amount of transparency that an object has, they want us to change that to 75, so we're going to type that in. And then we're going to say OK. All right, as you see, the layer has filled and created somewhat of an overlay on our canvas, but we're going to keep on to the next steps. And the next step is to add a layer for your text. So you're going to have to create a new layer again. We're going to click on this plus sign, and we're going to create a new layer for which our text will be added to. Okay, and we're going to click the text tool over on the far left of the screen. We're just going to do horizontal type. In the font drop down, you want to choose a font that you like, that you feel like is easy to read and easy to see. You're also going to choose the font color and the size that you would like. I'm going to come back once I've chosen my font and my color and my text. As I recommended in instructions, you should choose something meaningful, such as the school name, Sam Houston, your name, or your class name, like juniors or seniors. Feel free to choose any of those for this project. All right, I've gone in and I've already added the settings that are listed for bevel and emboss and the instructions. It's super important that you have the instructions open so that you can go ahead and follow these instructions without me having to tell you what to do for every single thing. Okay, so all these are the bevel and emboss settings, such as you went in style and add pillow emboss. I feel like the only thing that you probably need to know that maybe isn't in the instructions is that Cove Deep for the gloss contour. It is the fourth icon over. And the way you know the name of the icon is you hover your mouse and it'll tell you Cove Deep if you hover long enough. Okay, that's probably the only thing. For this one, we're going to move on to the other style settings. The next thing they want us to add is contour settings. So I still have the panel open. I'm just going to click on contour, the row with contour to activate that. This should be cove deep as well, so I'm going to go ahead and click this drop down and get the fourth one over. Click out of the box in order to deselect it. And the range should stay 100. I'm still not going to close my effects panel because I have other settings that they want us to add. The next one is stroke. Okay, so that is the border around an object. Stroke is like the outline or border around our letters. So we're going to click on stroke. They want us to have the size be 40. Position center. Blend mode is going to be screen. Opacity should be 100%. Overprint needs to be checked. The fill type needs to be changed to gradient. The style needs to be shape first at the bottom. Align with layer is checked. Angle should be 90 degrees. And scale should be 100. Now, the next step is to go in and add the gradient color. Okay? The way they have it in the instructions is one way you can do it. But please note that you are allowed to pick a gradient color that you want for this. So I'm going to click into the gradient box. My text is red. Right now it's set for the outline to be kind of a black and gray or gray and white gradient. I think I'm going to go to the reds and maybe choose something in that category. Please choose a gradient color and setting that is complementary to whatever your text color is. Okay, so I'm going to go in reds and see if I find something that I like. I'm going to come back once I've chosen my gradient color. And again, these settings on the slider do not necessarily have to be exactly like the instructions. If you feel that something else works better, please use that. You have some freedom to use that. I'll be back in a moment. Our next step is to add a new layer that will hold our ellipse or circle. And that will actually be what ultimately creates the outer glow effect on the text to make it look like it's neon and glowing against the brick wall and in the background. So we're going to click the plus sign to add a new layer. And you need what's called the ellipse tool. Again, that's just a circle. It looks like this. It looks like this over in the toolbar. If you don't see it, you need to hold down on the white arrow in the bottom right corner until the rest of the menu shows up, and you're going to pick ellipse tool. All right, so for the color, you want to pick a color that's darker than the text color you have here. Mine is red, so I'm going to choose a red that's darker and a little deeper than the red that's shown here. I'm moving my mouse to pick more of a burgundy color, and I'm going to say OK. You do want to choose your color before you draw your circle. All right, so I'm going to drag out. You want the circle to be large enough to cover the majority of the text. So we are going to get the move tool and move our circle. Remember, if you mess up or make a mistake, all you have to do is hold down Control and press the letter Z, as in zipper, to undo. Again, Control Z to undo if you make a mistake, and you can just simply redo it. All right. So this ellipse here is covering most of my letters. Next, I have to right click on this layer, this ellipse 1 layer, to convert it to a smart object. So I'm just going to right click here and choose convert to smart object. And you know this is done when you see the little icon pop up in the corner of the thumbnail. All right, we're going to do filter, blur, and then Gaussian blur. They want us to choose 250 for the radius. We're going to have to type this in. Okay. And then we're going to say, okay. Now, when it shows up like this, it's covering the majority of the text. So we obviously have to change the blend mode settings to make it not so overbearing. So we're going to click on the Eclipse One layer again, and we're going to change the blend mode right above the layers panel where it says normal. We're changing that to soft light. Okay. Okay, and as you can see, it makes it much more better, but it does make it more appear like the letters are glowing. We're going to add another ellipse tool, and this ellipse we're going to have underneath the text. So once we create that layer, we need to choose a lighter color than our text. So with ellipse 1, it was a darker color than our text. With ellipse 2, we're going to choose a lighter color than what our text is. I'm going to create a new layer. Okay, I'm going to activate the ellipse tool, and then I'm going to choose a lighter red. Okay, I'm almost going to go into like the pink family for this one. I'm going to say okay, and then I'm going to draw an ellipse that only covers really the text itself. You don't want this ellipse to be as large as the previous one that covered most of the screen. You want this ellipse to be like this, that covers most of the text. Okay, the ellipse 2 layer needs to be dragged down beneath the text layer so that it's behind the text. You're just going to hold and drag down until the ellipse 2 layer is where you want it to be. Okay, in this case, underneath the Sam Houston layer, so that it goes behind the text. Momentarily, it'll do that. There's a bit of a lag, unfortunately. All right, and so we're going to do those exact same settings that we did with ellipse 1, which is to right-click, convert to smart layer, or a smart object, no, I'm sorry. And then we're going to do filter, blur, Gaussian blur. But what's great about the filter section is if you have a setting, they actually put it at the top. So we're going to go ahead and use this Gaussian blur because it already has the settings from the previous ellipse. So we're going to say okay. And just like before, the blur is going to be overwhelming. So we're going to change the blend mode for ellipse 2. We have to activate that layer by clicking on it. We're going to change it from normal to soft light. Okay, and that is the end of this project. I'm going to show you how to turn it in, but of course, first you always want to save. You can do Control S as in Samuel to save. And then we're going to actually export this file as a PNG image file. And the PNG file is what you're going to turn in Canvas. So we're going to do File Export. Quick Export as PNG. And that PNG file is what you're going to attach in Canvas and turn in to me. I hope this video was helpful to you. Have a good rest of your day.